Look at that. It's Eco Jams on tape. Yeah, it's an interesting album. I mean, I would have to say on. Oh boy, where am I? There it is. So let me think. This Eco Jam music is killing my mind space. Let me put a pause on it for a bit, so I can talk to you something very important. Okay. Now that my thinking space is clear, I think it is time. I think it is time to go on a rant about why slutty women are stupid. Um, whatchamacallit? Okay, well, I have always been an asexual. I've always thought of myself as being not interested in sex and just devoid of it. I never really had traditional sexual experiences in my younger years, and it's weird. I've never really had contact with a naked woman before, or should I say girl, and I never really put in my penis in a vagina in my younger years. And I never was interested in hookup culture, never was interested in promiscuous sex. That just never interested me. I it's weird because it's like most we live in a very sexualized society today where people are just like, well, you're supposed to have lots of sex when you're a teenager. Oh, by the time you're in your early 20s, it's just to bang a lot of girls. But it seems to me that according to F. Roger Devlin, the only people are really doing that are actually westernized girls. Girls, by the time they hit 17 or 18, all the way up till their like early 20s, they just slut around. So why would a virgin guy or a prude man approach a 25-year-old girl and she claims, I've had sex with over 15 different guys, and I love you for actually staying with me? That sounds very selfish and very stupid. And it's like you're basically dealing with leftovers or something. I remember in college, about 4 years ago, it was like my freshman year, I took a class in the history of sexuality, and the teacher told us, all of you at the age of 14, 13, 15, this generation, you pretty much all masturbated to pornography. Now, when you'll go out into the field and actually think about quote unquote picking up women or looking for sex, you're going to assume sexuality is basically like pornography or the porn world. And that seems to be true. Most millennial girls below the age of 26 or 26 are, I think they're porn actresses or something like that. And the prudish men who are basically intellectual and behind their computer screen and maybe go to church, they're denied by them. They're not Dick Smothers Jr. or Peter North. They're just normal guys. And now there's some guys who get into degenerate shit and do drugs and alcohol and then find themselves the most ugliest girl laying around and then pick them up and put their penis in their vagina of it and hopefully not getting them pregnant if they're protected or non-protected or they just whatever. It's still like, do you even consider that sex or just some sloppy drug addicted culture, or rape culture? I've been pretty much really a fan of Andrea Dworkin, so as I get older, I'm starting to realize how important Andrea Dworkin is about this philosophy, why she's important, And if we live in a society that supposedly is based upon truth telling, as Kurt Doodle puts it, how come in the world do we have both of the sexes lying about their sex life or keeping their sex life private? It's really stupid. An honest person is open about their sex life, kind of like what Margaret Cho is, even though I wouldn't recommend people being like Margaret Cho, or even if she is telling the truth. The point of the matter is, people like Wife with a Purpose and Lauren Rose and these other trad thoughts, as Rush V puts it, pretty sure they're sucking dick at the bar Friday, Saturday night of the week. And then they say, well, that was just a hookup. That was just a hookup, right? And these moronic girls are basically Well, they've been raped, as Andrea Dorkin puts it in, but they're consensual rape. Okay, it's consensual rape, and who gets the last laugh? The guy that fucked her on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? The short term, and that's interesting because a lot of girls have traumas because they don't know why they have traumas. Feminism promised them everything from promiscuity, free sex, but really it just makes girls worse. Not to rephrase F. Roger Devil and Sexual Utopia and Power again, assuming that you've read that book and the philosophy, just go on YouTube and write F. Roger Devil and see what comes up. Again, it's the women, the girls, the female hypergamy that's out of control. And the only thing that's bad on guys' side is the use of pornography. As guys who look at porn, basically rewire their brains to be more, you know, focus their energies on something different than trying to find a wife and stabilize a family. Again, I mean, for me personally, to turn me on, it's difficult now. I'm a little older. When I in my younger years, when I was like a teenager, I couldn't control myself. I would rub my dick on a pillow and look at hentai and stuff like that. But I now in control because I've seen most of the porn on the internet, kind of like what Luke Ford has gone through. I'm just not impressed by most porn. It's really hard for the porn that I like. I realize that there's better pursuit than erotic watching. I think now I can watch pornography and admire the aesthetics, the artistic sexual aesthetics, which requires a lot of self-discipline and a lot of interest. Most people can't control that. I can. And because I can't turn on, the only time I could turn on is deliberately by myself if I'm laying in bed and I just feel like it. And usually I'll jerk off to an image of an old girlfriend or something like that. And again, what I mean to say is I don't think promiscuous sex or sex is something you do as a boyfriend girlfriend. That's just, as Ramsey Paul put it, it's the glue that keeps a relationship together. Sex is so small. It's such a small thing. It is the process of creating children. But people go out and they say, well, once you're boyfriend and girlfriend, you can have as much crazy sex as you want. Um, Yet, I was watching the recent episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Larry had to stop this woman from telling sex rumors, so he presented a non-disclosure act not to tell anyone about their quote-unquote sex life. And she, of course, break them up, and seems Larry's a jerk, but Larry had something right. A lot in the celebrity world right now, you see these celebrities being taken down, and the women basically blackmailing them for, extorting their money. And this is what this hypergamous upper class women do. They sleep around with upper class men and then they tell Sex in the City style stories. Larry David was only looking out for himself when he put in a non disclosure act to protect his life. Do you want to be called Larry Longballs? I don't think so. And this is concerning because there is a lot of men and women before guilt hits in or sin hits in that they could be saved, and they could be saved by having proper institutions based upon authenticity and truth, whether you may call that Christianity or religion or their own self-worth and dedication. um, it seems to me that most of the millennial women are fucking trash, and it makes my extreme hatred to white women grow. Most, even there are some westernized, dark skinned, some whitewashed Asians. Yeah, they're trash too. Not to exclude them. They're all trash because they're all voting for this universal white identity that's fucking gross. They all think they're liberated, and they're not. They need a smack across the face. They are fucking losers, and they are gears in the system. And it's true, if you have an IQ on the bell curve, you're more of an Aryan, succeeding, healthy person. It might be true that the more beautiful person, the better, and the uglier you are, the shitty you are. It's just true.
But I do believe strongly in the Christian ethos of acting like Jesus and what would Jesus do mentality, as that is the best life to live. I am living an authentic life. I tell the truth wherever I go. Most people don't do that because they're cowards and they're selfish and they want to live on nihilistic falls, spirals. And for the whole sexuality thing, I think it's so ridiculous. We have a sexualized media that says, "Well, everyone has sex in their early 20s," but the truth is, there was this article published on this academic, maybe academic website, and it was about, oh well, people who are 26 or more years old, 26 or older people, they in the alt right, they are virgins. They never had sex, or they're prudes. That's probably true because the fact of the matter is, most people are not porn actors and porn actresses. They're just normal people, and they only really have sex with the loved one when they're going to procreate with a kid, or that they really love and want to explore. I mean, that sounds so fucking bullshit. Explore. It's weird. I could go on more of a talk or rant about also why, one time I met this one bitch who, I'm not with her now, but she told me, well, you can have as much sex as you want once you have a boyfriend. That doesn't mean I've been raped at all, or it doesn't mean I've been controlled. Even though I've slept with 10 different guys, that just means 10 different boyfriends. You're not just supposed to go up and get a random stranger. You're supposed to meet and, yeah, again, to paraphrase F. Roger Devlin, women don't